Hello, everybody. I want to apologize. Technical difficulties called the internet company, and the phone is busy line. Probably there is some big major distortion within the internet that happens here once in a while. Currently, I'm using the phone to supply the internet to the computer. It's a different computer, so it's different view. For you, I know that some of you wrote a questions or in the chat that I didn't see because the connections was lost. So I'm gonna be looking at right now through the chat, and if you guys coming in and say hi for it, that's gonna be a good. I have to go into my channel and I'll look the videos for. It doesn't show it to me. Hmm. Very strange. I can't see the. There it is. Let me see if you can be able to pull the chat. Joycey, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Um, Sasha, thank you for coming in. Joycey Book. You coming in clear now? That's good. That's good that I'm coming clear for. Trying to see the chat. Mm, doesn't allow me to see the chat for some reason, probably because it was still going on. Mm, Let's see. No, there isn't. No, I can't get in. So I'm missing some of your messages. If you guys have questions about it, now it's okay. I can go ahead and answer it for you. And so strange. I have to look differently to you guys, but to try to get this as the best as I can. All right. We were talking about healing your childhood trauma within. I have no idea where it cut it off, where were the situations, and what happened. I don't know where did I stop, and what did I say, and what was recorded. But that's what this is. For it, shadow work. We dealing with a lot of shadow things behind the veils. So it is what it is. If you don't know Dio, it is what it is. But I'm happy within the universe that we have a chance. We'll continue doing the work. That's what the rebel is, and that's what the ER. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for all your support. Let's share the love, the light, and the inner peace. Keeping the inner peace through this debacle and situations for it. It's a stormy time, and it is what it is. I'm glad that you guys are here. Welcome back, and let's go. Let's rolling in here. I want to say thank you to you guys coming to the chat, Joycey, Sasha, Arpita, Lisa, and Lorianne. For Lorianne, I was talking to about your last questions. That's what it was, and I don't know how much did I said there and through it, but all of a sudden everything just like nobody wanted to answer and nobody wanted to give everything. There was like people don't even want to share something. So for hi Erica, thank you for coming in. And now it's your turn to guys asking a questions about what is your childhood trauma? Is there anything you need to heal in there? I was given a few examples when I was talking. I don't know if you guys saw the example. If your mother doesn't give you love from within, go give a love. And when they give you the love back, you're going to receive. Your mother doesn't teach you how to be a female or how to act as a male. go ahead and you act as the male that you always wanted to be. Go be the advices that you never took, that nobody gave it to you. Don't give her attention to some in order you to learn what it is. Okay, because you're seeking trauma. Okay, you're seeking a problem from within, but it's your responsibility to heal this from within. And the way you heal it is whatever you're expecting, whatever your trauma is, okay, is not you to create more trauma to other people, is actually you to learn to heal the other people with this. That could be a good word, that could be a good advice, that could be a simple hug, that could be a simple phone call, that could be a something from within you for it. If that was a toxic relationship environment, it was toxic. You let it go. You learn it. So when you remove yourself from the toxic environment, you allow the others to heal from it. Okay, but you addressing your childhood traumas, addressing them. Don't be a blind for it. Don't be a blind for these childhood traumas from within you, because they're gonna be in the next generation. We talked about this yesterday about all this. So, guys, asking the questions. I'm here for you guys. Okay, that's what it is. All these things, it's because of you guys, and I want to say thank you for everyone that's supporting it. So, Arpita, I have a problem with communication with my mother, but I'm showing her that she's worthy of unconditional love. I don't want her to get attached to me for approval, but I want her to step for herself, to stand up for herself. Very good. We actually turn to the daughter that is mothering the mother, which is you actually teaching her what she was supposed to give it to you. So if you have a problem with the communications because your mother has a problem, probably communications with you when you were younger. Maybe she didn't know how to talk to, how to communicate. Maybe she was a closed person. Maybe she had a wounds from within that she didn't want to share. She didn't want to talk. And maybe she's emotionally unavailable because of a wound that happened in her childhood and she closed herself out. But by you doing it this, so here is you give her and you show her that she's worthy of unconditional love. You teach her with your example inside of it that she can develop this within herself, but she has to want it. It all depends on what age it is and how she look deeply from within her soul. People who only see through their level of perceptions of humanity and heart, for them it's hard to see the point of level of what you're trying to achieve through in the soul level. Basically, like you talk to them in a different language. But if you doing this within your heart and within your vibrations, even if you don't say nothing, vibrations speaking louder than word, she will be able to do it. But if there was a lot of verbal abuse, then guess what? You don't want that verbal abuse anymore. Uh, I'm the same way. My mother, she did a lot of abuse. Okay, but guess what? I don't. I talk to her only when it's just the holidays and so on. But okay, with some of the toxic people, even if they are relatives, doesn't matter. The relatives can be the worst issues in there because they using the relative connections to be doing and continue their toxic ways. This could be a toxic way of controlling, manipulations, or gain something. That could be a finances, that could be an energy, and so on. One of the hardest things that you have to overcome this is if your child is there because the mother love is there. And if your child it is the one that is toxic or has some situations from within, you need to understand the point of the mother love is actually to allow these kids to grow up. But if there was a lot of mental abuse, if there was a lot of emotional abuse, if there was a abandonment, or if that was a betrayal, like, you know what, I'm not caring what you wanted to do. I don't care how old you are. You get away from my house if you don't listen to me. And pushing you away from the house, that is a big abandonment. That's a big issues that you need to look in there. So through these situations, okay, see this from within and understand that she had the issue. She had this problem. I actually spoke about this in the astrology report today. You need to understand at some point, as today, as we are, and this spiritual evolution is this spiritual situation. Go back maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 lifetimes ago. You maybe acted the same. You maybe was that lower vibrational person, but you decide to heal from within. You healed one lifetime something, the next lifetime you heal something, and now you're here, fully awakening within your forces, within your this big understanding within you, and you have to look within your shadow that at some point you were also like them. You are acting like them, and you understand somebody wounded them. Who there was and what it was doesn't really matter. It's only matter is the healing. And by looking at your wounds, from your mother specifically, heal that by you giving more. If it's abandonment, you're accepting it. Someone who's been abandoned, because you are going to accept the abandonment from within you. You're going to be healed from within you. Okay, it's huge problems in there. There is a huge things, but it's gonna be, if there was a verbal abuse, now it is about time for you, Arpita, to step it up. Instead of verbal abuse, you to go ahead, be an inspirational talker. You're gonna be healing that from within you, because there's gonna be no verbal. You're not gonna like verbal abuse. You're not going to allow that verbal abuse, because the verbal abuse shows up the fight for attention, shows up a fight for energy, shows a energy vampire. Usually the energy vampires, they do like a resort of this from within this, within the verbal abuse. Why? You tell them to go ahead and be quiet and so on, and they can't. They can't be quiet because they are missing the attention from you. You don't want to give them the attention. You don't want to give them the situations. And guess what? They come back and they create a huge emotional drama or verbal drama in there, so they can get the attentions that they are right. They always have to be right. No, they're not. They haven't learned that the answer is not only yes, it's also no. And people who have a verbal abuse, they have issue with the no. But if you have this verbal abuse from within you, become a inspirational speaker. Learn how that is, what is, and talking about traumas is actually is going to help you to heal the traumas from within. Be a the wounded healer, Arpita. I think that's the best advice I can give it to you. Um, okay. Joyce, I see a lot of difference in my daughter and her children, and it makes my heart so happy. Very good. Very good. Because if you see a change within the next generations, that's mean that Joyce, that the situations will change. That's what you need to look for it. You have to look at it this from within there. And I'm so glad that you're sharing this, because of your past experience. People who didn't watch the previous video, they later watched, you actually explained there what is within the family and so on. But if you see the change, I want to give you a big hug of energy there, because you did something. So your daughter changed and your grandparents are changed, and so happy. You see, that's what the healing is. And now, by you saying this, you giving the strength and the courage to the other people. You become an example, because it's not only words, but also an example of this for it. My son is still stuck in a loop. Usually the one, or if you have more than one kids, the one is going to be stuck in a loop. The one that it's stuck in a loop, you have to recognize that child and have a help for him. It doesn't have to be, but if there was the abuse within you, if there was the abuse, you were abused as a child from your parents or so on and so on, some of this pain it's transferred to the one of the kids. It comes back in there, and maybe that what will show up for it. Usually, that's what it happens. You're not the only one, Joycey. There is a couple of people that I know that it either shows up in all the kids, or on some of the kids it's in a light form, a very light, like autism situations or ADHD disorder in there. But with some of them, actually, transferring becomes very, very big. Okay, very, very big. For even some of the people, they have three kids, they see all this. Okay, for but you have to take, if you saw the earlier in an age, the more earlier it's find that issue, the more earlier this person has to be taking the psychology, emotionally, and so on help. But covering yourself for the issue, that can create a lot of issues later on, because that person can develop defiant disorder, can develop aggravations, and they can go and become and trying to be a physical. That's mean a physical harm. They're ready to harm physical someone if they don't get to that energy. That verbal abuse turns to a physical abuse. You're probably experiencing something, because I don't know, Arpita, it's kind of like feel that energy hot. um I had of this around my marriage, especially. Wow, yeah, the marriage could be a big problems in there if you attract a similar person in your life, like your father or your mother, and you are going to go through this. For some of the mothers, they are healing this by their understanding. I had a very case that the mother, her son was like maybe 18, 19, something around there. And she told him, it's time for you to grow, get out of here, get out of my house, because the energy and the situations you're creating in this house doesn't help me and your sister. It's time for you to be move out. And she called me 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. She told me, my energy's come back, everything is okay, and so on. I made the investigation. I see that he's been developed, but we should have took time early in the childhood to fix it. And that's what this for. So yeah. Lisa Pergola, I had traumatic experience when I was 2 years old. I had throat surgery, was left in a hospital by myself. My parents were not there for me. I was so scared. I felt abandoned by my parents. Actually, Lisa, if you take a look within this, with in the hospital, and especially within these situations, the fear of death, or the fear that you are abandoned in there, was too big. Maybe later on you close yourself out towards the parents. Maybe the problems from within you. Maybe the parents try to reach out. Maybe the parents try to help you, try to redevelop from within you. But look at it in that trauma and understand that if you have a 2 year old and there is a pandemic and they don't let you go in there, okay, how would you feel as a parent? And why did the people that weren't there for you? I don't think so. They would have left you and abandoned you. You felt that way because the parents, they bring you to the hospital, but they also take care of you get in the hospital. Through some of the surgeries, you probably would understand that look more deeply within a trauma. Why did you found that? And so on. Okay, so look in there, but you have to forgive your parents. You're a 2 year old. Okay, they were worried. They were scary, probably. Don't blame them, but be happy that they saved you in the hospital. Okay, you were in a good place. You were in the hands of a doctors at the best situations that is supposed to be. Okay, so I mean, depends on what the traumatic experience is. If that was a traumatic experience of something else that was actually causing your throat surgery, maybe a physical abuse or something, that is a whole another issue. But look deeply from within. Arpita, my mother is changing a lot, but my father is stuck on all levels. Usually, the one of the parents, in some of the cases, they carrying some kind of like a trait within them. That is coming like a family karma, something that has not been worked out, and now this issue turns to a sicknesses in some sort from within, and it needs to be looking at the family karma within the situations. It needs to be look in there for, and especially that the one kid is moving on and it's okay, but the other kid is sick. Arpita, take a look why your husband is stuck and you are free now. So it's all gotta be connecting from within. Maybe you need to look at the karmic situations between you and your husband, you and your mother, father, grandparents, and at the same time, your husband's karma. It has to be looking at where the issue is and what was the real issue, so he can be able to help to solve it from within. Because right now, the son that is stuck, he has actually comes in to show up the real issue. Okay. Erica, my father passed away when I was 17. Now I have a lot of things healed around my father. I have given to myself the ice skates he promised me, but he never get. Pretty good. There you go. That's how he healed. You go and you skate and you're like, thank you, father, and the energy is good. Joycey, thank you so much, Smile. Yes, you gotta smile. You gotta smile. Arpita, yes, I had same. Okay. Joyce, he's my youngest, and I was brutalized during my pregnancy with him. Oh, that's bad. That's mean a lot of toxicity, Joyce. That's talking about, ooh, that's, yeah, people, yeah. Um, get off from that environment. And if you get off of that environment and your kids grow up fine, then you're okay. But you have to deal with the damage on your own by simply don't live in the past and don't go back in there anymore. Heal it and let it go. You can't do anything about it. It's in the past. But forgive and forget. It's important. If you forgive but don't forget, guess what? You come back to it. If you forget but don't forgive, you go back to it. Forgive, forget, and move on. That is going to be a beautiful for it. He's my youngest. Okay. And I take him being a father. He then was for me very good. Erica Joyce. I forgive his father, but Ken seems to find a way to help him. Some people can't help. You need to understand, Joyce. They gotta realize from within they need the help. You know, they don't realize. It doesn't matter who you talk to them. Even psychologists, they says like this: when the client begins to lie to you, they're hopeless because they don't want the truth to comes out from within. And if you don't get the truth to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, guess what? You won't be a real healing. That pathology of lying in there doesn't lead to anywhere. Lies hurts yourself, the people, and so on and so on. So you need to understand people who are ashamed from showing up their shadow or things comes out in the light, they don't want to work with. Some don't want to work. But if you find if he finds the reason to work on it, then he does. But it's gotta be on him. It's you can't help someone who doesn't want to help. No, even if you point them, you shame them, you publicly expose them or whatever, doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Nothing. Nothing works. Uh, Lisa, I became I became very clingy with my mother. I don't have a good relationship with my father. He's very unavailable. I don't blame them. I understand now. Very good. Very good, Lisa, because of if you heal this from within you, you actually can help other people to heal. And since you understand now, evolve with that understanding. Look the things from within the understanding from within yourself. Okay. Joycey, I got out, but it was, yeah, well, better late than never. I mean, at least you save your daughter and your grandchildren's in there. So take a look at it as a positive. Okay. Better something than nothing, right? Better something to be healed than nothing to be done. Because all these problems in there is because somebody did something, Joycey. Arpita, mostly it's not the other. We need to forgive self. Exactly, you need to forgive yourself as well. Forgiving yourself that you did things that you did not know. Probably you did some counteractions of this abuse, counteractions of all the situations because you were not aware of the situations. But now, since you have the awareness from within, that awareness and self-awareness mostly, it's coming into to the soul and it helps you from within. Now you forgive yourself. Four. I know that what it means in the Bible, the sin of the father being passed down. Yeah, it is. The sin of the father has been passed down. They knew back then, even back then, they knew that the energy is passing. And that's why the son looks through his mother and his father to learn. He learns from his mother how to deal with females. He learns from his father how to deal with masculine. And it all depends to have this healthy family relationships between the mother and the father. Because if the kids begin to have issues, that shows up. There was no healthy relationship in there. It is what it is. That's what the situation is from. And that's how it goes. It is what it is. It's the truth. You can't change the truth from within. Joycey Box, you're right. Yeah, don't work. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. It's been proven. I studied the psychology here from psychologists, and they said the same thing. Healers, they say the same thing. Some of the Reiki masters, they say the same thing. They comes in, they get the energy, and did you did the work? Did you did for it? Some of the Reiki masters, some of the Reiki healers, they do the energy, and they know you're gonna come back. They feel it within the energy. Some of the energy, the Reiki masters, they can talk to you. Hey, you have this problem because of this or this. It's not about, I would love to have you as a client to come in and on and make money. That's good, but you're not doing the things right. Why you always come back with this problem? Look from within, heal this from within, and so on and so on. You're gonna find decent people there to tell you all this. Okay, the real Reiki master, the real Reiki practitioner is gonna tell you that for it. I'm still having a lot of trouble with forgiving myself for failing my son as his mother. Right there, Joyce, you need to understand something. Never mixed the mother love by allowing your son to create an abuse. If you as a mother show him that it's okay he to show any kind of abuse, then you teaching him to be like that. And if he learn and abuse from other people, practicing on you and so on and so on, Maybe he had to learn different things from within. Sometimes the mother feelings goes in the wrong directions for it. Oh, he's my son. I allowed him to do this. Yeah, but you allowed him to be verbally abused or verbally does that or and so on and so on. But when he grows up, what if he's going to be turning to an abuser? That's what some of the females, they have this shame and guilt. They didn't recognize this because from within they are fighting the mothering energy within themselves. There is a difference between a mothering energy and there is a difference when that is connecting from abuse from a child towards mother. Okay, so you as a mother have to understand to cut it off this, but you have to use your mothering love to cut this off, not because the other way around. And that can talk about destroyed energies within the mother. That could be maybe because you were in that toxic environment, you do not know how to react on this because you were used to abuse and so on with the toxic environment there you were. So look in there, but forgive yourself. You did your best. I mean, the way I see it, you did your best from within. Hopefully, you didn't harm people who you loved, or there was other situations and so on during this journey. But everything it is divine order. So during this divine order, you have to forgive yourself. Arpita, I could feel when my mother, when she was blaming herself, heart center of her is black, and she was dependent on me to. Yeah, that's actually talking more about narcissistic situations in there, because usually the narcissistic mother asking for the child and demanding for the child to give her, to support her, and so on, because they cannot do it themselves. And that is a what is known as a grown up wounded child. They're grown up in ages and everything, but they're wounded from within. They need the attentions, they need the care, somebody to give it to them. They can even tell you, you have to be around me, I'm your mother. They can guilt tripping you. It's like, you have to care for me, you have to do all this for me. No, no. You can send them unconditional love. You can tell them, listen, you have to take care of yourself, you have to grow up. Hard, easy. Now, if they cannot move and they cannot walk on or so on, you have to be a human things from within. But we're talking about energies of growth and so on. No, don't allow your mother to steal your energies because they can feed from it. It is happening, and I've seen it. I know what I'm talking about this because some of the mothers is like, oh, if you leave, I'm gonna kill myself. Or if you do this, it's a manipulation techniques from the mother to have you around. So she can be the king and you can be the slave. And it's been done to a lot of mothers, toxic mothers specifically, for it. And yeah, take a look more within the energy. When you sense that little energy that it's so sneaky and a little bit, or maybe you felt that sneaky energy that's kind of like oh, come in, I need my mat and so on, I'm dying. You go walking in there, 2 minutes later is like, oh, I'm so happy, thank you, and so on. And she becomes, all the lies come back and you feel like crap. She sucked up the energy from you. You'll know it. You'll feel it within your bones, within your soul. And that's what this, I know it's your mother, but yeah. Now I'm open up to love herself unconditionally. Yes, open her up. That's good. Let her learn. Let her learn on her. That's her lesson for it. Pretty good, Arpita. Ashkath left before he was damaged. I just thought he will be a better person if he was raised with his father. It was abandoned by mine and hurt me so much. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Not taking the right actions at the right time. But it's all about learning. And Joyce, through your experience, people see things. And I'm praying that more mothers, when they recognize situations, they can go ahead and take actions. That's what we are right now in these toxic situations for it. Yes. Yeah, you did not know that by staying there, you are hurting more. I know. I know. That it's what codependency does. You are depending on your husband. You are depending he to be provider. You are depending on all the situations and and Joyce, I can understand, and it's good. But you know what, Joyce and Arpita, people don't talk about this out and open. They're not truthful. That is the worst things that we do. It's the same thing like that within the twin flames. When we're talking about the twin flames relationship, when there was no information about the twin flames, now we're talking about healing because healing it also helps within the twin flame situations from within. People don't see it though. People want that they have the twin flames that's going to solve all their problem. The twin flame cannot solve your own problem. You have these problems. They're your own problems. And there is a lot of misunderstandings in there. But we all wounded in some way. We all wounded in a certain situations and a certain things, guys. So you have to look from within, guys, and be honest within yourself. And through your experience, guys, here, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for sharing the truth here because it's not coming from my words, it's coming from you guys. But with some of you mothers, I deal with some of the mothers who tells me, look at my chart of my daughter, my granddaughter, or my son, my grandson, and so on and so on. We've seen it there is in the charts, and we're looking at we talk, and they're looking at the damage was there back in the childhood. In the first video, I posted the link of someone. There is a very good psychologist there, but he's talking about things that you can understand in a normal human language, not as a psychologist that just does that. Go look at the first video, and there, hopefully, the link is still in the chat. Okay. She's not that way, but I have seen her project on herself. It could turn into herself. That is okay, Arpita. If she does that, there is a lot of work that probably she did for it and so on. I know his father was my twin flame. I dream of him before I met him in person. Oh, then the situations could be a different with that case, Joyce. But why was that toxic environment? A lot of the twin flames, they need to learn to be alone on their own way, far away with everyone. They belong to each other, not with other people, not to be paying attention with others, and so on and so on. I didn't say that. Twin flames couples say that. People who are in union. Okay. All right, guys. If there is no more questions, I want to say thank you guys for coming in. I want to apologize again for the first video. I have no idea what happened in there. The only thing I know, I still have no internet in there. And see the things inside of you, recognize the things within you. That's what the shadow is. That's what the shadow comes in, the wounds within the childhood, and heal them. But don't pretend like they don't exist. Don't hold on to something that it's already crumbling, because that crumbling can crumble the situation's worst more and more and more and more and more until somewhere down the line, this bloodline is going to be really, really within the lower realm of energies. Okay. So yes. My mother is yelling at least to release whoever she wants to release for herself and to the people she wants to release. Pretty good, pretty good. And to teach me, I don't need a man. I help him heal, and he's remarried now. Pretty good. If he's remarried now, if he's happy, and if you heal from within, that is good. That is perfectly good. All right, guys. So, do you guys have any idea about tomorrow's talk? For it, let me know. Any ideas? Uh, some of the things are hard, Joycey. Yeah, can understand. Can relate to this. All right. Do you guys have any idea about talk? There's a lot of pain here that comes in from the chat room right now. It's coming up. I don't know who that is, but there is a lot. Maybe some of you crying right now. Just like, who? Well, but we're talking about pain. So it's normal to have the vibrations within the pain. But when you solve the pain, it's going to heal you from within. It's going to help you guys. It's going to help you. All right, guys, let's share the love and the light here and the inner peace. We're going to talk about tomorrow. I'll see what kind of topic I'm going to pick it up for you. Joyce, yes, when you're stronger, yes. Oh, yeah, because that's the only choice that was left. You to be the strongest person within you. All right, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Be love, guys. Okay.